I love you.
See? From here up to the end of the world. And then di nuovo qui all'infinito. And then back here and then over and over up to the infinite. It's a romantic phrase.
That is so beautiful.
Now, I don't know if my friend Mara would agree with this, but I don't think there's anything wrong with coming to Rome, a city that has some of the world's most amazing churches and museums, and not visiting them. I don't think there's anything wrong with hanging out with the locals and just soaking up one of the most beautiful cultures in the world. Yes, your jeans will be tighter on the trip home, but geez, you'll be happy.
Well, that is all that we have time for tonight. Next week, we are on the move. Roll around the German countryside with Jules.
Say it with me now. I am a rollerblader and I belong in Fleming.
Ben heads underground cave exploring in South Australia.
I'm starting to understand the adventure of, going where no one has ever been before.
Experience Northern Thailand from a bike with Natalie.
You can experience the sights, the sounds and the smells when you've got your own wheels.
And Kelly finds a slice of heaven in southern Vietnam.
It's pretty much untouched by tourism.
Look forward to seeing you next week. Bon voyage.
Tourists rescued by lifesavers on the first day of school holidays. The government accused of covering up asylum boat arrivals. New signs the real estate market is set to boom. SeaWorld's biggest little attraction steps out into public view. And Ken Bennett's boys cause an upset in Melbourne in a rugby league blockbuster.
Storm, yeah, storm.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. We're just hours into the season, but lifesavers have been run off their feet. Several people needed to be rescued today, and we're being warned our beaches are now more dangerous after months of erosion.
Getting sucked out fast, struggling to stay afloat. 3 tourists caught in a rip at Northcliffe. A chilling close call on the first day of school holidays, the first day of the patrol season.
I think I just got a bit puffed at the end there and didn't realise that the rip was sucking out a little bit even though there was no surfs.
As soon as the sun came up, the flags went out and the chaos started. Our golden sands became peppered with people. Surfers' paradise smothered. This was the view from the Westpac Lifesaver helicopter. On the sand down below, our red and yellow army made up of 3,000 volunteers split across 23 Gold Coast clubs.
If you guys are out there swimming, you get in trouble, just put your hands up.
Volunteers monitored the Broadwater parklands for the first time today. The decision to introduce patrols here came about following the death of a 47-year-old Tasmanian father earlier this year. To prevent another tragedy, they've been given plenty of resources.
We've got all brand new toys, so it's very exciting for us.
Including this teeny tiny tower. The communications centre also got new gadgets.
This is Gold Coast Surfcom. Welcome to the start of the new season.
Plus new radios, part of a $150,000 upgrade.
Background noise and all that, it's just taken all that away. It's nice and clear. It's like talking on a phone now.
Christina Costalis joins us live now. Christina, surf lifesavers say erosion has made some of our beaches even more dangerous.
That's right, Davina. Erosion has actually changed the dynamics of some of our beaches. Lifesavers say swimmers need to be aware that what once may have been a safe place to swim may not be anymore.
Christina, thank you. Well, volunteer firefighters are also on patrol tonight after a fast-moving fire burnt through 40 hectares near Hervey Bay this afternoon. Fanned by strong southerly winds, the fire came close to homes in Nickenbar and Sunshine Acres. A warning for residents to consider evacuating was cancelled a short time ago. The government has dismissed as hysteria accusations it's creating a culture of secrecy over asylum seekers. The opposition claims the government is hiding the number of boats arriving in Australian waters.
Tony Abbott wants to stop the boats, but Labor claims he's trying to hide the boats.
The Australian people have a right to know when a boat arrives
how many people are on it.
Under the former government, details were published online, but since the coalition's Operation Sovereign Borders kicked in, there's been nothing, with the new government refusing to say how many, if any, boats have arrived since it formally took office on Wednesday.
It's the first step along the way in establishing a culture of secrecy.
It's a little shrill, frankly, for the Labor Party to start suddenly running around like a headless chook saying, oh, it's a culture of secrecy. I mean, get real.
The new Immigration and Border Protection Minister Scott Morrison says information will be released and that he'll reveal how much and when in the coming days. Meanwhile, Tony Abbott is preparing for his first visit to Jakarta as Prime Minister, where his policy to turn back asylum seeker boats is seen as controversial. But the PM is hoping that that controversy is just a passing irritant for the Indonesians and not a long-term defining issue. And at home, Tony Abbott is dealing with a GST-related irritant. Despite calls from the WA Premier, the PM says the tax won't ever change under an Abbott government.
The GST is not going to change, full stop, end of story.
But frontbencher Bruce Bilson has a slightly different take.
We will not be changing the GST in our first term.
Saying that if the Coalition's tax review makes a case for change, then it'll consider taking it to the next election. Kerry Yaxley, 9 News.
And Clive Palmer's hopes of winning the seat of Fairfax look set to be realised. All the votes have been counted, with the billionaire beating LNP rival Ted O'Brien by a margin of just 36 out of almost 85,000 votes. Any victory under 100 votes triggers an automatic recount, which will get underway on Monday. Water police will search dams near Gympie, where the burnt-out torso of a man was discovered earlier this week. Detectives say the fire was very small, but a number of people did notice it.
We've had a fantastic response through Crime Stoppers. We've got a large amount of information we're following up at the moment, which has led to some extra leads that we're pursuing at the moment.
The body still hasn't been identified. Police are now checking interstate and international missing persons files. And the Toowoomba community is rallying around the family of a toddler killed in a terrible house fire. 2-year-old Brodie Fuller was trapped inside his bedroom when flames tore through the home on Thursday. 4 other children were taken to hospital suffering smoke inhalation.
This community is a very caring and a very giving community, and I'm absolutely sure that things would be well and truly under control for those families. I'll certainly be making contact with them in the very near future to make absolutely sure that their needs are being met.
It's believed the blaze started when oil on a stove caught alight. Queensland's property investors are the most positive in the country, according to a housing affordability survey. Almost 40% of people believe their finances will improve in the next year, helping drive demand in the real estate market.
We're raising our hands at rapid rates.
1.5 and a good bid. $1.5 million and I'll go to 1.6.
More interest in auctions than ever before, and a housing affordability survey has revealed Queenslanders are the most positive in the nation when it comes to the property market.
The number of buyers that are coming through is just like we saw in the boom times.
The realestate.com.au survey revealed 37% of house hunters believe their financial situation will improve in the next year. It means they're happy to spend a little bit more. 46% of the market looking to buy are first home buyers.
First home buyers is always the first to heat up and the last to cool off. So yeah, I think that is a main driver in the market at the moment.
It's hard. There's a lot of competition, I think, for a certain price bracket.
There's a shortage of houses in the $400,000 to $500,000 price bracket. But if you're willing to spend a little bit more...
This heritage-listed property at Chelmer is on the market for the first time in 40 years. It's called Waterton. It's got 38 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. Are you feeling positive about selling this?
Certainly.
The power of positivity. Ebony Cavallaro, 9 News.
The NRL won't take any action against the Bulldogs despite allegations they covered up concerns of domestic violence involving Ben Barber. The league's integrity unit has also cleared former Bulldogs chief executive Todd Greenberg. Their independent investigation found the Bulldogs acted appropriately and sensitively when Barber's then partner Ainsley Curry came to them for help in February. The integrity unit also found the Bulldogs could not establish an act of domestic violence based on the facts that they had at the time. Well, imagine driving from Darwin to Adelaide without refuelling once. A team from the University of Queensland is about to do just that with their invention powered solely by the sun.
Behind the wheel of Team Arrow's futuristic beast. No petrol needed, just a bit of blue sky.
It's amazing to think that we actually built this thing.
Next month, the solar car will compete against the best in the world, racing 3,000 kilometres from Darwin to Adelaide.
We're expecting to do it in about 4 to 5 days. The vehicle's capable of getting up over 100 kilometres an hour.
At 180 kilos, it's a tenth the size of a car. More than 500 solar cells power a battery pack, which drives the 1.2 kilowatt electric motor.
Normal car, you've got a foot throttle. This one, I actually have a knob that I have to spin to accelerate.
It's been more than a decade since a Queensland team competed in the World Solar Challenge. This year, there's new rules. The vehicles must have 4 wheels, not 3, and the driver sits upright, much like driving a normal car.
Traditionally, the drivers in these cars would be very uncomfortable. They'd be crammed up. They'd have no room. They'd have very little visibility.
To give you an indication of just how efficient this car is, when it's racing down the Stewart Highway at 80 k's an hour, it'll be using the same amount of power as a toaster.
The Japanese and American teams will be the ones to beat. As for Team Arrow...
And I reckon we'll finish the race to start with, so yeah, that's the first goal.
Sophie Walsh, 9 News.
Well, it felt more like the summer school holidays than spring today, with the southeast continuing its remarkable run of warm weather. Live data Libby Stone is at South Brisbane. Libby, just how warm did it get today?
Well, Davina, the mercury hit about 25 degrees in the city around lunchtime. But look, the average for September so far has been 26.6 degrees. Now, that's about 2 degrees, 3 degrees above the long-term average for this month. And many parts of Queensland are experiencing above average temperatures so far this spring. And look, Queenslanders aren't wasting any time enjoying this warm spell. Plenty of people basked in the sunshine along the river here in Brisbane today, and a lot of families as well took a dip here at Southbank. While at Toowoomba, well, a picture-perfect start to the Carnival of Flowers, the sunshine, surely attracting thousands of visitors to the city for the annual event. But look, in terms of the school holidays, well, this first week, it won't be cooling down anytime soon. It could actually reach 34 degrees in Brisbane on Wednesday. And Davina, I'll have the full forecast later in the bulletin.
See you then, Libby. Thank you. Well, there's a new star attraction on the Gold Coast, and he's cute enough to melt hearts. Adorable little Henry the polar bear made his first public debut today at SeaWorld, and already the star performer is pulling very big crowds.
Forget first day nerves, bold little Henry steps into his polar preschool and into the Gold Coast limelight. 19 weeks old and full of beans, he explored his new playroom under the careful watch of mum Leah.
He's really cute and fluffy. Very, very, very cute.
A warm Queensland day called for a dig in the ice, and after mum showed him how and a nervous test of the water, the baby boy dived in. Not a care in the world, least of all the hundreds of smitten bear lovers watching his every adorable move.
I've just uploaded him to Facebook now, telling everyone get down here and have a look.
Already a people pleaser, the conservation cub is also a milestone for SeaWorld. Their first and only the second ever in Australia.
In 40 years of SeaWorld's history, I think this has probably got to be one of the most special days that we've ever had.
So clearly Henry is one adorable little ball of fur, but to SeaWorld he's also a little ball of gold. And that's because traditionally around the world, polar bear cubs are massive crowd pullers. And with crowds comes cash.
It was the best holiday we had ever had.
Made our holiday.
But you best get in quick. He won't stay this cute forever. Joel Dry, 9 News.
Too cute. Well, up next, the future of the European Union in the hands of the German election. A kangaroo tranquilised after a big adventure on the Gold Coast. And footy wags prepare to strut their stuff on the red carpet.
The extraordinary finals.
Australia has definitely got talent.
Have arrived.
Are you ready for this?
Every sizzling performance will soar to an incredible new level.
Epic.
Australia's Got Talent, the finals, Sunday 6:30 on 9.
At Nick Scali, 30% off everything in store ends Sunday. 30% off all lounges, dining and TV units. Hurry, ends Sunday. 30% off everything in store at Nick Scali. Ends Sunday.
How good was the footy last night?
Yeah. Introducing the new Blue Line Nomad 3.4 metre boat motor and trailer package. Fly across the water in this Blue Line tinny with the Passer 9.8 horsepower two-stroke engine with a bonus Lowrance Elite 5 DSI fish finder. All this for just $4,999. BCF Springfield. Grand opening Saturday, September 28.
Blue skies smiling at me. Nothing but blue skies. Do I see?
You'll do better with Hallmark because you'll always get something special, something extra, no matter which home you choose. So why build with anyone else?
They gave us great tips on how to make our home look like a million without